One really important feature about Mario games I feel like doesn't get a lot of appreciation are their sub-levels, that usually offer a nice break from the regular gameplay and almost always contain a puzzle with a prize to collect. After studying the different layouts of stages and heavily analyzing these spots, this gave me the idea for today's video, where I want to look at the absolute best sub-areas from each and every Super Mario Bros. Entry. For the sake of the video, I'm going to classify sub-areas as places that take you off the beaten path of the level, usually accessed through vines or pipes, but there are other things that can cause you to travel there too. Oh yeah, before we get started, my name is Copycat, and if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to my channel, hitting that bell to stay notified when I upload new videos. The very first to be released in the series is Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Entertainment System, containing a few sub-areas that could be considered good, starting with a set of ones in the Coin Heavens. These are found in the few of the game's stages, always accessed via Beanstalk, needing in them to ride on a moving cloud platform, and jump to collect the coins. It's not an insane secret to come across, but it's still a good break from the usual gameplay, and a cool reward if you're willing to look for secrets. The only other sub-area I want to look at can be found in World 4-2, which leads to the above-ground warp zone, which goes to either World 6, 7, or 8. This is found up a beanstalk that's found within a block that initially seems unreachable, but to get here you actually have to uncover a few hidden blocks below and use them to platform upwards. Just as a note, I'm not always going to count warp zone or alternate exits as sub-areas. I've already made 2 separate videos focusing on those ones, so go check them out after this if you're interested. The second game to be released for the NES is Super Mario Bros. 2 that came out in 1988, containing a bunch of tucked away areas I want to showcase, starting with what's in World 2-3. In the desert section of the stage, you'll come across a door located on top of high up ledges, where you have to use the enemies that are flying by to jump up and reach it. Inside you can find a small room with a magic potion, where entering it will allow you to gain a bunch of coins along with a mushroom. Another area that's truly one of the best secrets in the entire game can be found in World 3-1, where you have to fall down the waterfall and enter the hut at its bottom. Here, not only will you be able to collect a bunch of coins by entering the potion door, but you can also use that potion and then go down the jar, allowing you to warp to World 5. The final I think that's worth looking at can be found in World 7-1, where at the level's beginning you need to head to the right instead of riding the Albatross, and enter the house found on the cloud platform. Inside, you'll again find a potion with coins and a mushroom to collect. Nothing too special, but at least something. The final of the original trilogy came out for the NES in 1990, and contains tons of cool sub-areas I want to look at, where a good place to start is with the Coin Heavens. These are found by uncovering the magic note blocks in Worlds 1-3, 1-5, 3-7, 6-4, and 7-8, which sends you flying up in the air to the cloud world above. Here, this place is an auto-scroller, where you can collect the coins that appear on the screen, and in some instances, if you're powered up with a super leaf, can fly up and uncover a 1-up. One sub-area that's chocked full of 1-ups can be found in the second mini-fortress of World 4, although getting here is extremely out of the way. First off, you have to trigger the switch, then enter the secret door that appears inside of the blue coins. This takes you to a vertical platforming area where you need to maneuver upwards using the pipes, along with the directional lifts to make it to the next room. At first, this one seems unassuming with only a few coins at its bottom, but there's actually a hidden 1-up found within a series of hidden blocks just above the pipe. However, the next room contains the real treasure trove, where you can find a mega question mark block containing 3 1-ups, and on top of that, if you're powered up with a super leaf, you can break the bricks at the top of the screen and find an even more hidden area containing coins. Although I really could go on all day about great ones from the specific entry, the last one I should at least mention is found in World 8-2, where surprisingly you need to travel down a stream of quicksand to find a secret hallway below. Here you have the choice of entering 2 pipes, where the left leads to a staircase room just containing a super leaf power-up, and the right one leads to a vertical room of coins, where you can use your Raccoon Mario form to fly up and collect them. It's really more how you get to this place rather than the prize itself that's special, but this one is still one of my favorites. Next up, we're going to look at certain sub-areas from Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which came out in North America in the Super Mario All-Stars SNES collection, originally being the true sequel that was only released in Japan as they felt like it was too hard for Western audiences, which has a few sub-areas I want to look at, starting again with Coin Heavens. These are somewhat similar to the original, but but in this case there are way more coins for you to collect, with the most notable ones being found in World 8-3 and World B1. In both these cases, this is by uncovering the beanstalk hidden within a hidden block, needing like in the first game to ride the cloud platform, and using it to collect higher up coins. One of the strangest, but still best sub-areas I need to mention is found in World 7-1, where if you bonk off these set of Paracoopas to jump higher, you'll be able to reach the platform with the pipe. Through it, you'll discover an underground section with a line of coins in the air protected by a row of piranha plants, although these aren't necessary to collect as you could just make your way to the next pipe. After it seems like you've returned to a normal level, but once you keep traveling forward, you'll eventually get to another pipe, that through it takes you to another underground area where you can collect even more coins, capping off this very interesting experience. The first handheld game of the franchise is Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, which has a few special sub-areas I want to discuss, beginning with the ones found throughout World 3. Accessed through a pipe within all 3 of the world stages, this sub-area has tons of coins for you to collect, and sometimes a Super Ball flower that you can use to gather them much easier. However, the sub-area of this title that contains the most coins can be seen in World 4-2, where there's actually 2 instances where you can travel down a pipe and stumble upon these magnificent rooms. Here, literally the entire place is covered with coins, where you're definitely going to need your Super Ball attack to gather the ones in areas you normally can't jump to. Next, we're going to look at the best sub-areas from Super Mario World for the SNES, which has one of the most intriguing ones you'll see in this video, found within Chocolate Island 4. This is all due to it being held within a gigantic void, with the objective of triggering a switch, then jumping down it. As you fall, you can see the prizes on the different floors, ranging from power-ups, to coins, to 1-up mushrooms, with what you end up getting, all depending on your timing of jumping down the pit. This will take a bit of trial and error to get the exact prizes you want, but no matter what, this allows you to gain lots of goodies. One sub-area that allows you to collect a massive amount of coins can be found through a pipe past a checkpoint in Donut Plains 1, also needing to be powered up with a cape feather as you're required to fly back and forth to collect them. I think this is more of a place that was used to get you comfortable flying with a very different power-up, one we would really never see again in the series. Also in that same level is another sub-area that's worth talking about in the 1-up chamber, where if you hit the prize blocks in the correct order in the row, then you'll get a mushroom for your troubles. Otherwise, you get nothing and you just have to move on. This pops up in a few other places in the game, and will give you some vital lives even if it can feel a bit random. The final I want to look at from this entry can be found in the Special World Mondo stage, as it contains what I believe to be the first ever instance of a slide in the franchise. I mean, in all comparisons, this is pretty simple, as it's just a straight line to the bottom with the dragon coin and a bunch of regular coins to collect along the way, but it's still something. Super Mario Land 2 for the Game Boy is the second handheld game to be released by Nintendo, which has a couple sub-areas that could be considered good, starting with the one in the 4th Tree Zone stage. Here, if you enter this pipe in the middle, then you'll be taken to an area with several rows of question mark blocks, being able to hit every single one to uncover your prizes. The best you'll get here is a fire flower, a star, and a life up heart, but unlike the 1-up chambers we just saw, you can go back as many times as you want. Another level that contains sort of a sub-area that I need to show off can be found in the Hippo stage, where if you enter the water right at the start, you'll find some hidden goodies. There's a bag of money in the block to the left, a super mushroom in the block to the right, and down the small gap you'll find an area blocked by a brick that needs to be broken using a fire flower. After this, the only way to enter it is by depowering to small Mario form, where then hitting the blocks will give you a couple of 1-up hearts. The first 3D based game starring the mustachioed man is Super Mario 64 for the N64, which has one set of sub-areas that are surprising standouts in the slides, found in different places throughout the castle. The first is the Princess's Secret Slide, found through a pane glass window in the room in the 2nd floor of the foyer. Through this portrait of Peach, you can gain 2 stars, one by just finishing the course, and the second by doing so in under 21 seconds, which actually can be quite difficult. The second is the slide found within Cool Cool Mountain, and has very few guardrails, meaning you're bound to fall into the void a few times. Here you can again gain 2 stars, one by completing it initially, and one by winning a race against the Mama Penguin without cheating. Oh yeah, and as a bonus, once you collect all the stars, you'll be able to face off against the very big fat penguin, which is gargantuan in size, but unfortunately doesn't give you anything for beating it. The third and final slide can be found through the secret wall in the side of Tall Mountain, and is definitely the hardest one of these three, containing really sharp turns and very narrow, tough to maneuver sections. This one isn't my favorite, as it was almost made intentionally tough, and also the fact that there's only one star to collect really lowers its replayability. There's almost too many great sub-areas from this entry, from going inside the pyramid, to entering the igloo, and so on and so on. So because I can't go on all day, I'd love to know your favorites in the comments below. Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube is the next to come out in the series, having a few really unique sub-areas I want to showcase, starting with the Turbo Track. This is found by using the turbo nozzle to blast your way through the doors the Pianta cops are guarding in Delfino Plaza, which takes you to the secret area, where you have to use that flood feature to platform through it. This game also has a slide sub-area stage. Although not in that water theme like you would expect, here sliding down a series of blocks that get thinner and thinner the farther you go. This is a sort of plain feeling stage, but maybe they just couldn't do any better with the limitations of the system. Another one that I always enjoyed playing was the Great Sandbird, found when the egg hatches in Gelato Beach. As you ride this immense creature through the sky, you need to collect the 8 red coins on it to gain the shine, all while being careful, ensuring you don't fall off and die. The final I think I should mention, although it is sort of controversial, is the Pachinko machine, found underneath this arch in the water of Delfino Plaza. Here again, you have to collect the 8 red coins in the machine. And even though this sounds like a fun concept, it unfortunately isn't, pretty much due to the game's poor camera and the strange physics that occur in this place. This just leads to a frustrating experience that definitely could have been better, but I'm not really sure if that equates it being bad, it's sort of just okay. Nintendo will return everything to the 2D realm with new Super Mario Bros. For the dual screen system, having a lot of sub-areas that are absolutely great, starting with the Coin Heaven of World 2-2. This is found by launching yourself out of this green pipe high up in the air so you can enter the orange one at the top of the screen, sending you to an area with 2 pipes at the bottom. You need to use these 2 pipes to again launch yourself up into the air, needing to collect coins and uncover hidden ones while getting the star medal at the very top. A similar Coin Heaven, but this time using spin blocks, can be found in World 3-2, which here sends Mario helicoptering up in the air. In this one, however, you have to collect as many coins as you can before the timer runs out, something that's not necessarily difficult, but still fun nonetheless. One Coin Heaven that allows you to collect oodles of them, and 1-up mushrooms, can be found in World 6-2, where here you have to ride on a lift across a long void, and try to bonk the question mark blocks that are flying by. This is a bit tricky as they are moving pretty fast, and it's almost impossible to know which block contains the mushrooms, so a bit of luck is definitely involved. The last sub-area I want to look at is another Spindrift one, but here instead, taking place within a large vertical area of World 7-4. The objective is to spin yourself to the top, then trigger the switch, which unveils a stream of blue coins that you need to then fall down to collect. Next to the franchise is the space-based Super Mario Galaxy entry that came out for the Wii in 2007, only having one type of sub-area that's pretty interesting to play through in the cubed rooms. Here you need to touch the giant question mark coin, which activates a series of music notes that you have to collect, and when you do so, you'll be rewarded with a predetermined amount of shrooms. I won't lie, this game is severely lacking in any sub-areas, and I absolutely despise the Guillermo garbage dump clearing ones, so if somehow I missed one that should have been included, then please let me know in the comments. The second of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii in 2009, containing much better sub-areas than in the first game, including the underwater spinning platform room in the World 4 castle. In this room you'll find a red ring, that when touched spawns 8 red coins that need to be collected in a very short amount of time. Doing this gives you either a power-up or a 1-up mushroom depending on what form you're in. Another I consider to be the best from this one can be found in World 9-3, which is a maze where you need to pick the right path towards the star coin. Because of the P-switch, you only have a limited amount of time to do so. Although this shouldn't be too hard, especially if you're playing multiplayer. Now, a sub-area where you can gain a massive load of coins can be found in World 2-2, having you fall down a void and collect as many as you can. These are blue coins that appear when you hit the switch, giving you a bunch of 1-ups in the process, although in a pretty easy and boring way. Also in the future, I do have the idea of making a video of the best coin stashes in every Mario game, so stay tuned for that one, as I think it would make for good content. The second Super Mario Galaxy game also came out for the Wii, and has way better sub-areas than in the original, starting with the fun Chimp Skating Challenge. Here you have to use the newly implemented skating mechanics to collect the normal gummits that pop out, while avoiding the spike ones, giving you only 30 seconds to do so, while also having to score a certain amount of points. This potentially can be hard if you're not used to moving around in this way, but with a bit of practice, you should be able to master this whenever it comes up. Another type of sub-area that's been added for this one are the enemy-based ones accessed through the teleporters found in several different levels. In these areas, you have to defeat every single enemy on screen, which reveals your prize, which is almost always 3 1-up mushrooms. I think this is exactly what was missing from the first entry. It reminds me a lot of the old enemy stages from the past 2D games. Nintendo would beautifully blend the 2D and 3D realms with their Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS release, containing some great sub-areas we should look at, starting with one found in World 2-2. This one's cool as the word 3D is written out in coins, looking incredible if you're using the system's 3D features, something unfortunately I can't show you guys, but if you've seen it, you know what I mean. This game also brings back the traditional getting to coin heavens via super note blocks way, although changing things up a bit here as it's not an auto-scroller and you just have to maneuver towards the exit. Other than coins, there is at least a medal at its end, and it is a cool homage even if it is a bit too easy. The final type of sub-areas that pop up in this game are through the mystery boxes that are actually accessed in the game's overworld. In these, you need to complete a small puzzle, usually defeating enemies, to gain prizes, ranging from coins, to power-ups, to star medals, and 1-up shrooms. These never really get too difficult, but they at least get more interesting. The third installment of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series, oddly given the moniker of the second entry, but whatever, came out for the 3DS in 2012. Containing 3 sub-areas I could find that are worthy of analyzing, starting with a fascinating coin tower of World 1-4. Near the end of the stage, you'll see a row of blocks, where the one in the very middle has a beanstalk within it, which brings you to the extra area where you can get a crazy amount of coins. This is done by hitting the switch that turns the coins into bricks, while spawning in blue coins that you can gather as you platform upwards to the star medal. After this, you can collect whatever you can get your hands on that's left over. But as we'll quickly learn, there's even better spots in this game to collect even more moolah. One of these is in Mushroom World 1, which is found through a series of fake block platforms that leads to a yellow pipe. This takes you to a room where you can collect a golden fire flower, where shooting golden fireballs unveils coins for you to collect, and a star medal. However, one that's literally littered with coins can be found through a secret door in the World 4 Ghost House. Although there isn't really any challenge involved, as they're sort of just sitting there for you to collect. One of my biggest complaints about this game is that it gives you way too many coins, and therefore, way too many lives, meaning that it's almost impossible to get a game over. The final of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii U, then was re-released years later on the Switch, which has a couple areas within levels I want to look at, starting with one in Soda Jungle 7, also known as Wriggler Stampede. If you trigger the vine in the middle of these 3 blocks, it then leads you to another area all based around vines, allowing you to use them to collect the coins and the medal. Unfortunately, the prizes aren't that great, but the mechanics are at least a bit of a switch up. Another sub-area that's making this best video is in the Rock Candy Mines Walking Piranha Plants level, found in this very random spot where you need to fly into it using a squirrel suit. This takes you to the top of the mountain where you have to trigger the switch, then glide into the blue coins that appear. I like how they incorporated using power-ups to complete this cool challenge, even if it isn't that clear that you need it, or that this area even exists at all. Super Mario 3D World has so many amazing sub-areas that they need to really quickly go over some of the best, which admittedly is a long list, so just bear with me. This includes the Rainbow Baseball Room in Really Rolling Hills, the Dash Panel Room where you have to catch the bunny in Mount Mustache, bonking off the Piranha Plant heads to get the green star in Piranha Creeper Creek, using your cherry power-up Mario clones to collect the blue coins in Beat Block Skyway, gaining the stamp from the back of the giant ant on the sprawling savannas, skating through the obstacle course to get the green star in the Taifu Flurry stage, navigating the spinning cookies while dodging enemy attacks in Cookie Cogworks, using the light box to kill the ghosts and uncover the star in A Beam in the Dark, the fun Rube Goldberg-like puzzle where you have to guide the ball using the red-blue flip panels in Fort Fire Bros, the rotating green star room that you can find in World Star 3, and finally the sick 2D shadow puzzles found in Trouble in Shadowplay Alley. Other than the ones I just mentioned, one level that has a collection of the best sub-areas in the entire game is Mystery House Marathon, needing you to complete a series of rooms and solve puzzles within them in 10 seconds to gain the stars, something that starts off easy, then gets progressively harder. This is essentially 6 minutes of continuous gameplay, where in the end, it becomes one of the most memorable and most replayable moments in the entire game. Now I'm planning on making an entire video on Super Mario Odyssey's awesome sub-areas, having literal hundreds of unique spaces that contain multiple moons, so I only want to showcase the real best of this title along Journey's End. Found on the darker side of the moon, this one is meant to be the ultimate final challenge of the title, containing sections where you have to platform using captured foes, and in some cases even hatless. This one is very hard, and took me a bit of time to master, but it quickly became one of my favorite levels ever created, and definitely one of the hardest. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment below what you thought about it, and of course subscribe to my channel. Also, please go follow my Instagram at Copycat Gamer. There I upload some cool clips and items for my collection that you won't see anywhere else. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!